What if I told you that almost everything you've been taught about the end of the world, the Antichrist, and prophecy might be a carefully crafted illusion? Sounds outrageous, right? But stay with me, because the deeper you look, the more you'll realize. History isn't just written by the victors. Sometimes it's rewritten by those hiding in plain sight. For centuries, billions of Christians have put their trust in stories, institutions, and sacred truths that, when you pull back the curtain, might not be so sacred after all. This isn't just another conspiracy theory. It's a journey through dusty cathedrals, secret meetings, and bold thinkers who dared to challenge the world's most powerful religious institution. You'll discover how a single group, the Jesuits, engineered one of the greatest theological plot twists in history, and why so many never even noticed the switch. Feeling curious? Good. Feeling a bit unsettled? Even better. Because by the end of this, you'll see faith, and maybe your own beliefs, in a whole new light. Centuries ago, in the dusty corners of forgotten temples, wise old teachers whispered stories that would rattle the world for ages to come. Names like Cyril of Jerusalem and Hippolytus of Rome might sound like they belong in a museum, but their ideas carried fire. They believed the Antichrist would be a Jew from the mysterious tribe of Dan. Imagine, just for a second, living in a time when tribes could disappear. Legends got tangled with fact, and every new prophecy felt like a puzzle piece in an endless cosmic game. It was a moment in history where uncertainty and curiosity danced hand in hand. Each answer only led to more questions. Isn't it fascinating how the deeper people looked, the more shadowy the prophecy seemed to become? But as years rolled on, these ancient whispers began to fade into the background. The tribes vanished, and with them, much of the old certainty crumbled. Proof that the world never stands still, and neither does its collective imagination. Have you ever noticed how, when history erases the evidence, folks start crafting new stories to fill the gap? That's the charm and the headache of mystery. It's always evolving, always inviting the next brave soul to take another look. And while some legends sleep, others are just waking up, beckoning us to follow the trail into new chapters of belief and controversy. Now, fast forward to the heart of the Middle Ages, when the average person didn't even have a Bible tucked under their arm. Imagine a world where your beliefs were delivered from a pulpit. No questions asked, no books to flip through, just stories passed down like family recipes. This was the perfect breeding ground for all kinds of traditions, some inspiring, some a little less divine, like purgatory and indulgences. People took what they were given, and few ever stopped to ask, wait, where's that written down? It's easy to see how tradition sometimes grows wild when no one is tending the garden. But nothing shakes up tradition like a well-aimed question, right? Enter Martin Luther, one man, one hammer, 95 problems, and the guts to nail them to a church door. Suddenly, the world split wide open. For the first time, the Bible became the main character, not just a prop. Luther's Reformation put the spotlight on the papacy, challenging the status quo and making the bold claim that the Antichrist might already be running the show in Rome. Talk about turning the tables. It just goes to show, when people start reading for themselves, old stories get new endings and sometimes brand new villains. Yet empires rarely surrender quietly. The Catholic Church, watching its influence tremble, decided it was time for a counter-move. Enter the Jesuits, a crack team of thinkers, trained not just in faith, but in the art of intellectual chess. They weren't just another group of priests. They were the Church's special forces, dispatched to reclaim lost ground and rewrite the rules. Their playbook? Dive deep into the tangled forest of prophecy and start chopping away at the old Protestant roots. And here's where things get downright intriguing. Francisco Ribera, a Jesuit mind with a knack for plot twists, took the prophecy and spun it on its head. No more blaming the papacy as a system. Instead, he argued the Antichrist would be a single figure somewhere in the distant future, maybe lurking just out of sight. Bit by bit, this fresh take started catching on, seeping not just through Catholic corridors, but into Protestant pulpits too. Isn't it wild how quickly a new interpretation, if wrapped in enough authority, can become tomorrow's truth? It's like watching a magic trick where you know the secret, but can't help being fooled anyway. Of course, where prophecy goes, debate follows. The talk of a third temple rising in Jerusalem became the new hot topic. Some folks, reading these ancient texts with a magnifying glass, insisted the temple had to be literal, bricks, stones, the whole shebang. But others whispered about deeper meanings. What if the temple isn't made of stone, but of spirit? What if the man of sin sneaks in, not through a doorway in Jerusalem, but into the hidden corners of our hearts? Suddenly, the prophecy wasn't just a future headline. It was a mirror reflecting the very soul of faith and doubt. Think about it. For every voice crying, "Watch for a temple on the hill," there's another asking, "What about the temple within you?" These dueling interpretations don't just shape sermons, they shape entire lives. And in the age of internet debates and endless YouTube theories, the line between literal and symbolic gets blurrier by the day. But hey, maybe that's the point. Maybe prophecy was always meant to be a riddle, not a roadmap, nudging us to look deeper instead of just looking around. So here's the real kicker. With time, Ribera's view didn't just enter the mainstream, it became the mainstream. The centuries-old Protestant suspicion faded, and Christians worldwide started waiting for a lone villain to step onto history's stage. Meanwhile, few noticed that the biggest shift wasn't just in what people believed, but in who told them what to believe. The influence of the Jesuits, once shadowy, became the scaffolding holding up a brand new tradition. It's a bit like changing the story while everyone's still watching the first act. And while billions may take today's interpretations for granted, the video doesn't let anyone off the hook. It throws down a challenge. Don't just accept the script. Read it for yourself. Every era, it seems, needs rebels who ask, who decided this anyway? The invitation is open. Dig into those texts, question every headline, and refuse to let anyone else do your thinking for you. Real faith, after all, grows best in the soil of curiosity, not conformity. At the end of the day, maybe the Antichrist isn't a person at all. Maybe it's the moment we let go of discernment and trade wonder for routine, when we trust a system more than we seek the truth ourselves. The lesson? Don't let mystery scare you off. Let it pull you in, lead you further, and keep you reaching. Because the real adventure begins, not when you have all the answers, but when you finally start asking the right questions. So, let me ask you, how many of your beliefs have you inherited? And how many have you actually tested for yourself? Are you living out an authentic faith, or just following a script someone handed you? Now that you know how history can be twisted and prophecy rebranded, what will you do with that power? Will you dare to question the stories you've been told? Will you search the scriptures for yourself with an open mind and a bold heart? Remember, knowledge isn't just for storing away, it's for living. If this video made you rethink, even for a second, the foundations of your faith, then hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and keep the conversation going. The only thing more dangerous than deception is a mind that's closed to new truth. So, what's your next question? Let's keep seeking together.